Hey, welcome to another Freeburg's Free Advice Math Edition here. We're going to take a look at graphing quadratic functions, both standard form and vertex form, and what the difference are and how we can do those. So either direction, you're going to want to be able to find your vertex. You're going to want to be able to find the y-intercept, usually a reflection point off of that. And you're going to want to find your x-intercepts. Those are usually your 5 key pieces you want when you're graphing. So let's look at standard form here, ax squared plus bx plus c, and see if we can find those pieces. So first, let's always start with trying to find our vertex. That's a good place to be. So if we think about the formula for that, we know that it's the x equals negative b over 2a. Hopefully some of us have made the connection that that's actually the first part of the quadratic formula. It's that thing that we're plus or minusing around, which is why it ends up being that axis of symmetry and where the vertex is, whether it's the max or the min. So that's why that comes in there. Try not to memorize multiple formulas, but understand that that first piece that we're plus or minusing around is your axis of symmetry, and that's where that vertex is going to lie. So in this case, we're going to see that we end up with negative 2 over 2 times 1/2 gives us negative 2 over 1, which is negative 2. Awesome. So there's our x value to the vertex. Then to go find the y value, we're just evaluating the function. So we're going to go find f of negative 2. So we'll end up with 1/2 of negative 2 squared plus 2 times our negative 2 minus our 8. So we'll end up with 1/2 of 4 minus 4 minus 8. So that'll give us 2 minus 12, which is negative 10. Awesome. So now I have my x and my y, so we can see that our vertex is going to be located at that coordinate point, negative 2, negative 10. Awesome. So we have 1 point. That's a good starting spot. Hopefully we all remember how to find the y-intercept. Y-intercept occurs when x equals 0. So if we plug in zeros for x, what happens? Those disappear and we're left with negative 8. Cool. So right away we're going to be able to find out that our y-intercept is at 0, comma, negative 8. Awesome. So there's a point. Well, based on reflection, right, I know that I'm going to have another point since I was 2 units away from 0 to get to that negative 8. If I go 2 further away, so we're going towards negative 4 now, we can find this point of reflection. Okay, so that reflection point is going to be at negative 4 and have that same y value of negative 8. Okay, so there's 2 more points for me. That's awesome news. Well, we can go ahead and finish the quadratic formula actually to find the rest of our x-intercepts. So we know that our x-intercepts occur when our y value is 0. And then we can do the quadratic formula. So x is going to equal that negative b over 2a plus or minus our square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, again, I like to put it in 2 pieces here because that is that piece there. So when I go and find that, I don't have to do math twice, right? So we already know that piece was our negative 2, right? So we know negative 2 over 2 times 1/2, so this is negative 2. Plus or minus, let's do the math on the rest of it. So this becomes 2 squared minus 4ac. Okay, so we're going to end up with all over 2a, which is just 1. Okay, so this will give us negative 2 plus or minus square root of And now this turns into 4 minus half of 4 is 2 times negative 8 is negative 16, so this is plus 16. So we're going to end up with negative 2 plus or minus root 20. And I know some of your teachers may have you simplify that down to 2 root 5. I like leaving it like this for right now just because I can estimate that better. I know that root 20 is between root 16 and root 25, so I know it's about 4 point something. In fact, it's pretty close to 4.4. So just for the sake of graphing, I know this is close to plus or minus 4.4. So my intercepts will be somewhere around positive 2.4 if I add that. Or negative would get me further negative, so negative 6.4. Awesome. So now we have those pieces as well as those. We have 5 coordinate points now. And if I drew these as coordinate points, right, this is 2.4, comma 0. And this is negative 6.4, comma 0. So there's our 5 coordinate points we're looking for. Let's go ahead and get a rough sketch. Okay? So, rough sketch, what you're going to kind of want is to get in all these points. So we know it needs to go down to at least negative 10. So that okay, so now we're going to go down to at least negative 10 there. And we're going to go over at least negative 4. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So super rough graph. Sorry, my penmanship on this is not the best. That's going to be an awesome Christmas present. I'm going to get one of those cool boards. Just a side note for you guys. Alright, let's plot these points now. Okay, we have a vertex at negative 2, negative 10. Negative 2, negative 10. There it is. That's my vertex. I have a y-intercept at negative 8. We have a reflection point at negative 4, negative 8. I then have x-intercepts at roughly 2.4. 1, 2, 3. Roughly 2.4. And negative 6.4, 4, 5, 6, 7. Awesome. Now I have 5 points. Okay, so as I go to draw this in, we want to start at the vertex and make this thing look pretty. Start at the vertex. It's actually a pretty good looking graph. Okay, so there's our graph. Okay, and you can label your points, which we already have identified here. But there's a good way to graph from standard form. Find your vertex first, then find your y-intercept and reflection point. If your teacher also wants x-intercepts, go ahead, find the x-intercepts, and we're in good shape. Let's see if something looks like in vertex form. Okay, vertex form's nice because we know where it's shifted to. So as I start to look at these, I know right away that I have a vertex. Okay, let's look at the standard, right? This is a times x, and your teachers may use different letters, but this is the one I was always taught, where we got some a value times x minus h squared plus k, and our vertex is at the coordinate point h comma k. Okay, so our instant knowledge here knows that my vertex for this one is going to be at negative 4. We're shifted left 4 units, and we're shifted up 2 units. Beautiful. Okay, so I know right away that there's my vertex. Okay, how do I find my y-intercept? Exact same way we've done it before. Plug in 0. When you do that, you see that you've got negative 2 times 4 squared plus 2. So we're going to end up with 16 times negative 2 is negative 32 plus 2. So that'll bring us back to negative 30. Awesome. There's my y-intercept. Okay, so I have a y-intercept now at 0, -30. I have a vertex. Let's find that reflection point, right? So the reflection point, we were 4 units away, so we're going to go all the way out now to -8, -30. Sweet, we've got 3 points. Let's go find the x-intercepts. Well, x-intercepts are when our y value is 0, right? So if I've got 0 equals this goodness, one of the other beautiful parts of vertex formula is you basically already did completing the square. So now I can subtract 2 from both sides. I can divide both sides by the -2. And now I have some quantity I can take the square root of. That's nice. So we're going to end up with a plus or minus 1 equals this x plus 4. And then, okay, just side note, I took a square root in case you skipped that side. Okay, so then I end up with -4 plus or minus 1 equals our x values. So we know that our x-intercepts in this case, if I subtract, would be -5. If I add, would be -3. Okay, those are our 2 x values, giving us the coordinate points of -5, 0, or -3, 0. Once again, we have 5 coordinate points now. Yay! There's 2 of them, there's 2 of them, and there's our 5th one. Okay, so we can plot these. Let's go ahead and graph. I think this one's way faster so far, right? A little less complicated math. It's kind of nice. So let's go ahead, plot that. So -4, 2. We need to get all the way down to -30. So this is going to be -10, -20, -30. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Almost. Okay. So let's plot these points. Vertex, it's going to be at -4, -2, or +2. Okay, right around there. We know that the y-intercept is at 0, -30. Sweet. And that reflection point's over here at -8, -30. Awesome. And we found the x-intercepts at -5, 0, and -3, 0. Perfect. So we're in great shape. Let's go ahead and plot this. And that is a pretty good looking sketch. See if we can connect that. Almost connected. So hopefully that helps you guys with graphing quadratics. I personally like graphing it from the vertex better, but standard form is one of those that we see more common. So sometimes it's factorable, and it'll help you find the x-intercepts faster. Otherwise, use that quadratic formula, and remember that first -b/2a part will give you the axis of symmetry. So thank you for watching Freeburg's Free Advice. Have a great day. See you later.